Britain is the birthplace of many world-famous novelists, poets and playwrights. Three of the most famous are Charles Dickens, Jane Austen and William Shakespeare. This is Shakespeare's Globe in London. It's an open-air theatre, just like a theatre from the time of William Shakespeare. Plays are performed here today with actors wearing costumes that are the same as they were 400 years ago. William Shakespeare is the most important poet and playwright in the English language. He wrote 38 plays, and many of these, such as Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, and King Lear, are still performed today. Shakespeare was born in Stratford-upon-Avon in the English Midlands in 1564. He was educated at the local grammar school and then moved to London, where he worked as an actor and writer. Shakespeare continued to work as an actor even after he became a successful playwright. He retired from acting and writing and returned to live in Stratford, where he died in 1616 at the age of 52. Today, Stratford is the home of the Royal Shakespeare Company. The RSC performs Shakespeare's plays here at the Royal Shakespeare Theatre and the Swan Theatre. Thousands of people from all over the world come to Stratford every year to watch the plays. The plays are still popular 500 years after Shakespeare's death because they tell powerful stories in beautiful poetic language. They have been translated into many languages and are performed all over the world. Many film and television versions of Shakespeare's plays have been made. This is Helen Mirren, a famous Shakespearean actress from England.
I fell in love with Shakespeare. I didn't fall in love with the movies. I didn't fall in love with television. I fell in love with Shakespeare. And from that moment on, I wanted to be a classical actress. I wasn't interested in a film career. I wasn't interested in a TV career. I wanted to become a classical actress.
Charles Dickens is another writer whose work is often made into films or television programmes. Dickens lived and worked in London in the 19th century. He was born in 1812 and died in 1870. Dickens wrote 15 novels and hundreds of short stories. He was very successful in his own lifetime, with works such as A Christmas Carol, Oliver Twist, Great Expectations, and David Copperfield. The plots and characters of his novels and stories were often drawn from Dickens' experiences as a child and young man in London when his family were very short of money. Many of his novels give a strong sense of the atmosphere of 19th century London, which in many areas was crowded, dirty, and unpleasant. Charles Dickens was the greatest English novelist of his time, and his fame spread far beyond Britain. He visited the United States twice, where he gave readings from his books, which attracted large audiences, in the same way that musicians tour the USA today. Jane Austen wrote just 6 novels, and only 4 of these were published during her lifetime. These are Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Emma, and Mansfield Park. 2 other novels, Northanger Abbey and Persuasion, were published shortly after she died in 1817 at the age of 41. Jane Austen's work is popular today because of its powerful themes. In particular, her novels deal with relationships and romance, and, again, as with Shakespeare and Dickens, they have been successfully adapted for film and television. There has even been an Indian movie of Pride and Prejudice, which was renamed Bride and Prejudice and given the full Bollywood musical treatment. Surprisingly, Jane Austen lived a sheltered life and never married. For a part of her life, she lived with her family in Bath, which, at the beginning of the 19th century, was a very popular and fashionable city. Her last two novels, Northanger Abbey and Persuasion, are largely set in Bath. Austen also wrote another novel called Sanditon, but sadly was unable to finish it before she died.